Welcome back on the mat. Today we dive into an 18-minute hip opening and strengthening lower body focused flow. Our session today will be split into 3 rounds. The first 2 rounds will have flows with holds, and the last power round is where we stitch flow 1 and flow 2 without any holds. We will have a minute break between each round, which you can choose to take or prolong as much as you need. Hello. Today we start at the top of the mat facing the long edge, standing straight, tall and strong. We take a round of breath here. And then inhale, send both your arms over your head, palms meeting on top, and lean towards the left side in a standing half moon. Exhale, step your left foot out, sink into your hips, arms cactus out towards your sides, come onto your toes for an active variation of the goddess pose. Push your chest out, and then inhale, lift up in star. Turn your left foot to be parallel to the long edge and back foot to be parallel to the short edge as you exhale, folding sideways into a triangle pose. If you feel your chest collapsing, you can rest your hand on your ankle or your shin, wherever you feel most comfortable, and hold for a few breaths. Inhale, look up, turn your hips to face the back of the mat. Step your back foot 1 step closer so your heels reach for the mat, and then exhale, fold forward in an intense side stretch. Hands reaching for the mat. Hold here. Inhale, look up, bend your front knee, ground your back knee on the mat, lift your chest as you swing your arms up and over, palms meet over your head in a gentle backward bend. Sink your hips forward as we meet in equestrian pose. Exhale, palms to heart center. Turn towards the long edge of the mat as we meet in a side lunge. Flex the extended leg foot, and then inhale, float to the center in a wide squat, elbows pushing your knees away. And then exhale to a side lunge on the other side. Inhale, turn your hips to face the front of the mat as we meet in a lunge. Ground your back knee on the mat, lift your chest up, palms meet over your head in a gentle backward bend, hips sink forward in equestrian pose on the other side. Exhale, hands to the mat. Step your back foot 1 step closer, heels reaching for the mat. Straighten your front knee as you exhale, fold forward in an intense side stretch. Inhale, look up, turn your back foot to be parallel to the short edge of the mat. Exhale, fold sideways as we meet in triangle. Your lower hand resting on your ankle or your shin wherever you feel comfortable, lifting your chest up. And then inhale, lift up into a star, reaching all the way up. And then exhale, arms cactus to the sides as we descend in an elevated goddess pose. Inhale, step your feet together. Palms meet over your head as you lean towards the right in a standing half moon. Exhale, palms at heart center. Take a break here, and I'll meet you on the other side. Get ready for round 2. Welcome to round 2. We start at the back of the mat but facing the front. Adjust your feet hip distance. Inhale and then exhale, send your hips to the heels. Stay in a squat position on the balls of your feet as we do the sneaky ape crawl 3 times up and down the mat. Crawl forward, swinging your arms for balance, mimicking my movements. Once you reach the top of the mat, ground both your hands, pivot around, and then crawl back. Make sure you gain balance before you move forward. And once you reach the back of the mat, ground both your hands, pivot around, and crawl to the top of the mat one last time. Once you reach the top of the mat, ground both your hands, and then inhale, step your left foot back as we meet in an elevated lizard. Watch as I demonstrate 2 variations of the flying lizard. The first one being the slightly easier variation. Take both your arms out towards the sides, right arm going under your right knee, and hold. The second variation, which is slightly more challenging, take both your arms out and then lift it up, taking all your weight on both your legs. Choose the variation that you want to challenge yourself with. Inhale here and then exhale into your variation of the flying lizard. Hold here for 5 breaths. And then exhale, palms to the mat. Inhale, lift your right foot off the mat. And then exhale, send it back into a 3-legged dog, pushing your chest towards your thighs. Hold here for a few breaths, lifting that right leg up as much as possible. Inhale, float your right foot between your hands and lift your chest up as we meet in Warrior 1. Hips squared to the front of the mat. Descend as low as possible in that lunge. And exhale to Warrior 2. Back foot parallel to the short edge of the mat. Arms extended out towards your sides. Gaze looking forward. Hold here. Spine straight. Inhale to a wide-legged stance. And then exhale to a Warrior 2 on the other side. Hold here for a few breaths. And then inhale, square your hips to the back of the mat. Swing your arms up as we meet in Warrior 1 on the other side. Go deep into your lunge as possible, lifting your chest up. And then exhale, hands on the mat. Lift your left leg up and exhale to a 3-legged dog. Lifting that left leg up as high as possible. Inhale, step that left leg outside your left hand as we meet in an elevated lizard. Now take your variation of the flying lizard and exhale. Hold here for 5 breaths. Inhale, ground your hands on the mat. Step your right foot outside your right hand, send your hips down in a deep squat. And then inhale, come up onto your haunches. Take a round of breath here as you gain balance. And then pivot around to face the top of the mat as we get ready to sneaky ape up to the top of the mat. Ground your hands on either side of you, pivot around, and sneaky ape crawl to the back of the mat. Crawl slowly and with intention. Feel your quads working here. Pivot around one last time as we sneaky crawl up to the top of the mat. Once you're at the top, come down onto your heels. Take your arms out in front of you as you exhale, and then inhale, come up onto the balls of your feet, chest pushing out as you send both your arms behind you in an ape reach. Hold here for 3 breaths. And then exhale, release. I'll see you at the power round. Get ready to power through. Welcome back. We'll now stitch flow 1 and flow 2 together without any holes. We start facing the long edge of the mat. Inhale, send your palms over your head. Lean towards the left side in a standing half moon. Exhale, step out, sink into your hips as we meet in goddess on our toes. Inhale, lift up to star. Exhale, turn your back foot parallel to the short edge, front foot parallel to the long edge of the mat as we fold sideways in triangle pose. Inhale, look forward. As we square our hips to the back of the mat, step your back foot 1 step closer, both heels reaching for the mat. Exhale, fold forward in an intense side stretch. Inhale, look up, bend your front knee, ground your back knee on the mat, lift your chest up, arms going up, palms meet over your head in a gentle backward bend, sink your hips forward in an equestrian pose. Exhale, palms meet at heart center, turn towards the long edge of the mat as we meet in a side lunge. Inhale, float to the center in a wide squat. Exhale to a side lunge on the other side. Inhale, square your hips to the front of the mat. Ground your back knee on the mat. Lift your chest up, arms going over your head as we meet in equestrian pose on the other side. Exhale, ground both hands on the mat. Step your back foot 1 step closer, grounding both heels, straighten your front knee and fold forward in an intense side stretch. Inhale, look up, turn your back foot parallel to the short edge of the mat. And exhale, turn sideways in a triangle pose, chest lifting up, look up. Inhale, lift up to star, reaching both hands up. And exhale, sink into your hips, arms cactusing out towards the sides as we meet in goddess on our toes. Inhale, step both your feet together, palms meet over your head as you lean towards the right in a standing half moon. Exhale, palms to center. Turn to face the front of the mat, feet hip distance apart. Inhale. And exhale, send your hips to heels and come onto the balls of your feet. We'll now do the sneaky ape crawl 3 times up and down the mat. Slowly and with control. Ground your hands on either side of you as you pivot at the top of the mat. Swing your arms for balance. Go slow. Ground your hands, pivot, Once you reach the top of the mat, ground both your hands, and then inhale, step your left foot back in an elevated lizard. Exhale, take your variation of the flying lizard, and then inhale, ground both your palms on the mat. Lift your right foot off and exhale, push your chest towards your thighs, lifting your right leg up in three-legged dog. Inhale, step your right foot between your hands, lift your chest up as we meet in Warrior One. Exhale, turn to Warrior Two. Inhale, turn towards the long edge of the mat as we meet in wide-legged stance, and exhale to Warrior Two on the other side. Inhale, square your hips to the back of the mat, lift your arms up as we meet in Warrior One on the other side. Exhale, ground your hands on the mat, lift your left leg up as you kick back into a three-legged dog. Inhale, step your left foot outside your left hand, and exhale into your variation of the flying lizard. Inhale, palms meet the mat. Exhale, step your right foot outside your right hand. Send your hips towards your heels. Come up onto your balls of your feet. Take a round of breath here. And then pivot around when you're ready to do the sneaky ape crawl 3 times for the last time. On your last crawl to the top of the mat, prepare to go into ape reach. So once you're at the top, take a round of breath here. And then exhale, send both your arms in front of you, heels reaching for the ground. And then inhale, come up to the balls of your feet again, chest lifting up, both your arms swimming back. And exhale, release. I'll see you around the bend.